Welcome to the It Doesn't Hold Up podcast. We review and reevaluate all things remember fondly from our childhood and years prior, see if they still hold up. And more often than not, they probably don't. I'm Stuart Shepherd, along with my co-host and good friend Michael Smith. Smith, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Stu. But before we start, I'd like to pause for thought.
Uh,
Hey?
uh, uh,
Hey? You like
uh,
that? Yeah? Bit of dog humour here.
I
Hey?
love it.
Hey?
I love it.
Are
The
we gonna
Smith
have? Are
quips
we
are
gonna have
back.
more? Yeah. Are we gonna have more dog puns? No, we're not.
Oh, yeah. I normally sign off with a funny quip as well. I was like, I've got literally no dog puns. This is rubbish. Yeah,
I got nothing.
absolutely nothing. Well, anyway, before we get on to said dog nomination, I want to talk about last episode's feedback, which was at the A Team. So that was something a little bit different. Me and Smith ventured into it. It was a TV show. So we will be dipping in and out of movies and TV shows and everything else on this podcast, really. But this week we've gone back to movies. But anyway, last episode's feedback was, you better not talk smack about the A-Team, fool. I'm so glad this held up. So was I, actually. And as a kid who grew up watching this, it was everything awesome about the 80s and the best show of its type of all time. I think, yeah, that kind of sums it up quite nicely, really.
What other shows of the time are there? Like Airwolf?
Yeah,
Or
MacGyver, Knight Rider.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, okay. Is it better than MacGyver?
I don't know. Is
Yeah,
anything
probably.
better than MacGyver?
MacGruber?
Yeah. But you know what? There's a bit of MacGyver in the A-Team anyway, because B.A. Baracus is always fashioning stuff out of something to get him out of a sticky situation.
In
So,
excruciatingly long and detailed close-ups.
yeah. Chains, rings, everything. Cool. Did you get hear anything supplemental? Any other sort of feedback about the
No, just
A-Team?
the people that I spoke to were very, very happy that it still held up, and actually quite a few of them was saying to me that they'd like to go back and watch it again.
Yeah, my wife is actively encouraging that we go watch the Series 1 and Series 5 box sets that I have on DVD. There you go.
I might revisit the Liam Neeson film because I don't remember hating it.
No, I don't remember hating it. Like, a few people said to us when we sent them the links to the A-Team, like, oof, that movie was terrible. I was like, was it though? I thought it was all right.
No, that was
Yeah.
all right. I'd need to go back and watch it again though. It's probably not aged very well. These things don't normally.
Don't know. My takeaway was that Sholto Copley was a good Howling Mad Murdoch in it. But yeah,
Mm.
right then. Anyway, so moving away from the A-Team. This episode's nomination was Beethoven, the movie, which was nominated by Smith, from 1992. So a brief synopsis of this. It's about a St. Bernard puppy who inadvertently gets adopted by the Newton family, grows up into a full-size St. Bernard, destroys the house, and hilarity ensues. Yeah.
Oh, does it?
Does it?
Mm.
Right. As I said,
If
this
you find
game...
property damage funny, Stuart, well then,
No,
sir, I do
no.
not want to laugh with you.
No, I didn't. I had a thoroughly terrible time watching this man's house being destroyed. But anyway, we'll come to that. Right. As mentioned, it came out in 1992. I believe it came out in the States in April 1992. We got it in July 1992, just in time for summer holidays. But before we get on to how old we were and all that jazz, 1992, year setting. Go for it, Smith. I know we've covered it before with the Lawnmower Man, but we are revisiting 1992.
We have covered 1992 before, so I am not going to cover 1992, and that is in no way because I couldn't be bothered to look up Weekly World News. No, what I'm going to do is refresh a previous segment, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a quiz.
Okay, I like quizzes.
I call it Dogs on Film.
Dogs
on Film.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love
so
it.
I'm going to give you the name of a dog, and that's some of my singing skills there, everybody. Yeah.
Okay.
Calm down. I'm going to name you a dog, and you're going to name me the film that dog is in.
Oh, that's fun.
That's a fun little quiz for you there. Right, so get started with one. It's an easy one. All right.
Mhm.
Milo.
Oh, The Mask.
Yes, The Mask. Correct. Okay, next one. Einstein.
Oh, Back to the Future.
Yep, right. Good. Okay, next one.
Mhm.
Bullseye.
Oh, Oliver.
Yes, good. These get harder. Right,
Mhm.
here we go. Fly.
Fly.
Fly. Told you they get harder. A dog called Fly.
It's not like Spinal Tap or something like that, is it?
Nope. I don't believe there is a dog in Spinal Tap.
Oh, I
There
don't
might
know.
be.
I haven't seen that for a long time. Anyway. No, go on. What's Fly?
Babe.
Oh, he's one of the sheepdogs. Oh, okay, cool.
Yes, there we go. Right, okay. So I told you they get harder. All right.
Mhm.
E.T.
E.T.
P.T.
Oh, P.T.
As in, yeah.
I thought you meant the actual terrestrial E.T. Right? P.T.
Yeah, E.T. the dog.
P.T. is in short for Peter. Right. Okay.
Yes.
Petey the dog. P.
You're not going to get this one.
There's Dumb and Dumber, but that's a budgie that is called Petey. No, I don't know. Who's Petey?
The Little Rascals.
Dude, I've never seen the Little Rascals.
You never seen the Little Rascals? It was out roughly about the same time as this.
Yeah, it never appealed to me. So sorry, folks, we won't be covering that because I've never seen it. No, I've never seen it.
Here we go.
Anyway, go on.
You've never?
No, I haven't bloody seen it. Right, anyway, go
on. Pongo and Perdita.
Now, Pongo throws me because I would say 101 Dalmatians, but Perdita. No, maybe he is. Then Purdy is short for it. 101 Dalmatians.
Correct. 101 Dalmatians.
Yay! Awesome.
All right. Couple more. Slinky.
Oh, yeah. Toy Story.
Correct.
Not awesome.
All right. Hooch.
Well, Turner and Hooch.
Correct.
I thought you said these get harder. You're stating a bloody obvious still.
All right. There's a few more. This is going to go on for too long, this segment.
Yeah, far too long. Wrap it up. Come
on. All right. Shadow.
Oh, hang on. Shadow. Oh, my God. I swear I watched that movie recently where Shadow the dog was. Oh, God, that's going to... Shadow. God's sake. No, mine's gone blank. Go on.
Homeward Bound.
Yes. It's the one that isn't Michael J. Fox. Yeah, that's right.
So you scored 3 out of 7. I wasn't really keeping score. So you scored some points. Well done. You win the quiz, and what you win is absolutely nothing.
Pride is what I win.
You don't have pride.
I don't have pride.
I took that from you years ago.
Yes, you did, along with my hopes, my dreams, my youth, everything. Right, then.
You took my hair. It's a fair deal.
Yeah, I did. You deserved it. Anyway, right. Enough of the dog quiz, but that was fun. That was something different. Yeah. Look out for us on this podcast. We've changed things up every now and again. Right then. So going back to Beethoven. So how old were you when you first watched this, and how did you come about it?
So I would have seen this probably when I was about 8 years old. I would have seen it on television first.
Yep.
I believed either television or video rental, that kind of thing, though. No, I definitely didn't see this at the cinema. I don't think I could have persuaded my parents to take me to see this at the cinema. I probably watched it on average once a week for a solid year.
Why? Because you had it on video?
Yes, I must have recorded it off the telly.
Oh, I see. Got you. I was going to say, you watched it when you were 8. Yeah. Okay, cool. Great. Yeah, I have a great fondness for this movie, like nostalgically, because I actually went to see this at the cinema. So when I was a kid, I used to hang around my older brother and his mates, and one particular mother of these friends didn't mind about 10 kids being in her house during like summer holidays and Saturdays and stuff like that. So we just used to go around there and play video games and that sort of thing. But whenever there was a big movie, this mother would take all these kids to go watch a film at the cinema. So like she took us all to see like The Rocketeer and Edward Scissorhands and this sort of thing. And she took us to see...
Was she some bloody saint?
Yeah, just a very kind lady.
Who's doing that? Who's taking 10 bloody kids? Oh, blimey.
And not all of them were hers. Like, so there was about 3 or 4 of them were hers, and the rest of them were just like...
I'd be surprised if 10 of them were hers.
Oh, Roman Catholic or something. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah. But yeah, she took about 10 kids to go and watch Beethoven at the cinema in Woolwich, which is no longer a cinema anymore. And yeah, we all went and watched it. And then after that...
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I think it's a bingo hall now. But yeah, and then when it came out to rent on video, rented it out, watched it, and then showed my mum who hadn't seen it. And then, yeah, when it came on Sky, recorded it and watched it, same as you, again and again and again. And it's one of those movies, like we've covered it many times, whenever it's been on normal telly or whatever, like ITV, BBC, I would just watch it. So it's probably on par with like The Mask or something. Like I've watched it just a ridiculous amount of times, but not seen it as a grown-up.
No.
I think about 7 or 8 years. But I probably had a similar view to it 7 or 8 years ago as I did watching it the other day, but we'll come to that.
So I haven't watched it as an adult at all, right? So I don't think I've seen this film probably since I was about 10 years old.
Okay.
It had a big rotation for about a year, and then it dropped off completely. And I think there were sort of 2 or 3 things that kind of led to that. One is getting our own family dog again at some point, or when we were older, which really makes you lose any sort of joy you have for large animals when they are destroying your stuff. It's not particularly funny anymore. And before that, I think just that sense of getting older and leaning into comedies like Ace Ventura and things like that, where you think, oh, I'm too old for this now. I shouldn't be watching this silly comedy about a dog with all the kids in it. I should be watching stuff that grown-ups watch because I'm 9.
Right. That's funny you mentioned that, because I even went to watch Beethoven Second at the cinema. Like, my mum took me and my brother to watch that. And even then, when we got a dog, we got our dog a couple of years after Beethoven 1 came out. So when Beethoven Second came out, I mean, yeah, I take your point. Yeah, our dog ruined our home as well. But yeah, still love that movie. But yeah,
you still had a dog. You had a dog about that time, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, no, not when the first Beethoven came out. I got my dog in 1994, which is when Beethoven Second came out. But yeah,
I didn't get mine until I was a bit older.
Yeah, like 99, 2000. I don't know. Something like
that.
Yeah. But I watched Beethoven this time on DVD. It cost me £1.45 from eBay. And then I ended up getting a free trial of Sky Movies, and it was on Sky Movies. Like, oh, I've wasted £1.45. So now I'm stuck with this bloody DVD. I reckon if I took this to a charity shop, they go, "No, you're all right." So can't even give this stuff away. How did you watch it? Did you watch it on Sky Movies, or what did you do?
I watched it on Sky Movies, yes.
All right. Cool.
I watched it on Sky Movies, downloaded it for free, didn't spend a penny.
Didn't spend £1.45. But yeah.
No, right. Didn't spend 145 pennies.
Yep. Right. Shall we get into the plot, inverted commas?
There is one. There's about 3.
Yeah. Cool. Right, well, let's just get straight into it. So we begin on a dark and stormy night in a pet supply building with caged dogs inside.
The most sinister pet store in the world.
There's all lightning going on outside and everything. And then instantly we see Stanley Tucci and Oliver Platt are bringing in dogs, and then called Harvey and Vernon. Why are these two actors? They're two very, very good actors. Why are they in this trash?
Yeah, I mean, you are better than this. You are much better than this.
I mean, we'll cover it later, but they played it so weird. They are really hamming it up. Stanley Tucci's wearing the most ridiculous cow print cowboy boots, and Oliver Platt's got the most ridiculous haircut I've ever seen in my life. And they're just acting like just a couple of idiots.
It's roughly the time that Stanley Tucci was in Opening Night, which is a fantastic film about two brothers who open a restaurant, and it's a very serious drama. And if you've never seen it, I would highly recommend it. This, on the other hand, not his best work.
No, quite. Nor Oliver Platt.
Although I will take his line reading of "Shut up."
Yeah, it's funny. Oh, then we see, he hasn't been named yet, but it's Dr. Varnick. He approaches from a skywalker. He's like, "I need puppies."
All right, calm down, Jerry Lawler.
Oh, see what you did. And I don't know if that's Dean Jones, the guy who plays him, if he actually talks on that, or whether he based his performance on like Richard Nixon or something. That's what he reminded me of every time he spoke. "I am not a crook." Oh, yeah.
He was when he came out there with his little light, I was like, "Yep, definitely a good guy."
Yeah, oh, yeah, of course. Oh, then we cut to daytime, and it's a nice town, and we cut to a pet shop, and then people are looking at this lovely, adorable St. Bernard puppy, but nobody wants to buy him. Oh,
I mean, people are just teasing the puppy, right? He's there like, "Hello, I'm an adorable puppy," and they're like tapping on the window and going, "Yeah, you wanker, stupid puppy." Also, this is where I kind of have 2 problems here, right? And I'm just going to get into it now. 1, do pet stores like that still exist? So I had a dog a few years back, and I would go to pet stores to get food and toys and all that kind of stuff. And in there you'd have guinea pigs and rabbits and all those kind of little things, but you wouldn't have pens with dogs in them. Now, and I do remember them being a thing when I was younger, there being pet stores that had puppies in there. And I just wondered, is that something that still exists?
So as far as I'm aware, no, but in my hometown, and technically your town, Bexley Heath, there was a pet shop just before you got to the shopping centre, and it did used to have puppies in there. It'd have like golden retrievers, Alsatians, all that sort of thing.
That's exactly the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, and I believe then, when staff used to go home at night, they used to switch all the lights off and just leave the puppies there. Because I've got a point later on, like, why the hell is this pet shop leaving all these puppies in here overnight? But yeah, I think that actually used to happen. But I think now, animal cruelty and standards and that sort of shit, no. So if you want to buy a puppy, you need to go to a breeder to do it. You can't get it from a pet shop.
Yeah.
That's my understanding.
A scrupulous one. Yeah. A registered and proper breeder. Don't go to fly-by-night street breeders.
No, of course not.
Also, just, on a very simple point here, a pure breed St. Bernard puppy would cost thousands.
Oh yeah,
It
yeah.
would not, like, pure breed dogs are very expensive, and people would be lining up to buy it. It wouldn't just be sat in a shitty little state town pet store.
Yep.
Just with people going, nah, unless it was, and it's what we didn't see, is there was a price tag there that said like 20 grand.
I mean, it might have been because I remember in 1994 we got a boxer dog, and he was a purebred puppy from a breeder, and he was £400, and that was in 1994. So you do the math; that's probably what 2-3 grand now, probably for a dog. So yeah,
Yep.
you're quite right. That St. Bernard puppy would have been very expensive. But just before he gets the night, a biker woman comes in because she wants a junkyard dog who's really tough, and then it pisses on her. Ha ha ha! So funny, and she probably deserved it. Like I don't know.
But also, she's like, I need a mean dog. Oh no, he pissed on me. What's meaner than that? Except, if you're into that kind of thing, and then people quite like it. But generally, most people would consider being pissed on like the meanest thing.
Yeah, don't know. She goes, "Oh, you got any pit bulls?" I'm like, "Oh, well, I hope not. They're not particularly nice dogs." But anyway, cool.
Yeah, anyway, we keep them in a cage in the back.
Poke it with sticks. Yeah.
Poke it with sticks, make it mean.
Yeah. Then it's night time in the pet shop. And yeah, again, like we just said, I've put wire dogs left alone there at night. And then the wet bandits are, Vernon and Harvey arrive. And they try and very unsubtly break into this pet shop. They must boot the door down and walk in. Or they are careful not to go over this very thin laser pen laser that's covering the door. And yeah, like I've said as well, they're really hamming up their acting in this, being like, shut up to the dogs.
Shut up. Get the dogs. Get the dogs.
They're just putting them in bags, putting them in baskets.
I found all of this dog jeopardy very distressing. I did not care for the way they were handling those dogs. I did not care for the way the dogs got quite frightened.
Oh, well, you'd hope no dog was harmed in the making this movie, but
I'm assuming at least one was. That Jack Russell gets a right good going over later on.
Oh yeah, it really does. They manage to set off the alarm because they're stupid, and they flee the scene after putting all the puppies in the van. And then we see like the cops are on their tail, but like nothing ever comes of it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's the end of that.
That won't be the last time we say that in this review. Nothing ever comes of it.
No. There's a lot of stuff that goes nowhere. And then Oliver Platt starts hugging Stanley Tucci for some reason and makes a comment about, "Oh, this is my very first felony. I've committed a lot of misdemeanors, but this is my first felony." I was like, "You sure? You're hanging around with that Varnick bloke who seems a bit unsavoury. I'm sure he's got you to do all sorts of horrible shit." But yeah.
You just don't know what felonies are.
No. Well, he is a simpleton. That Jack Russell you mentioned, his name is Sparky, apparently. He manages to escape his cage somehow.
Because he's Jack Russell, and Jack Russells are fucking horrible dogs, but they're very smart.
Just like Milo from The Mask. You see? Yep. And then Oliver Platt goes to the back to start putting the cages back, and he sees that Sparky's got to have his cage, but so's the St. Bernard. And they both just jump out
Sparky
and run away.
Sparky lets out Beethoven.
Oh, is that what it is?
And I don't know why. He lets him out, but he doesn't let out any of the other dogs. Was he like, no, all these other dogs are like racist or something, so I'm not letting you out. You're all right, Beethoven. All these other ones, I know what they say.
Yeah, he's safe. Yeah. So yeah, they jump out, and I'm thinking, hang on a minute, that van is probably going on at least 20, 30 miles an hour. Those dogs would have been really hurt jumping out of a moving van. But yeah, Sparky runs off, and Stanley Tucci runs after him, and then Beethoven.
You ain't going to outrun a Jack Russell.
I don't know, man. They are pretty nippy.
That's what I mean. You're not going to outrun it. What's he doing chasing it? Just let it go.
Yeah, let it go. The St. Bernard puppy hides in a trash can. I refuse to call him Beethoven yet because he's not been called Beethoven. Then we cut to the daytime and we get Dustman arriving. I got really agitated, like, "Oh no, don't put the puppy in the trash can." But it was fine. He got out and he's walking along. Starts walking along, almost attacked by a cat. Really horrible looking cat as well.
Yeah. Cats are arseholes.
They really are.
Let's never forget that. Cats are arseholes.
Yeah, and the bloke with a leaf blower as well. Oh, he's an arsehole too. And then we cut to the Newton family home, which is proper 90s American suburbia house. Like, that is a really nice house. Oh no, I know exactly what's coming. I really hate this in movies. We saw it in Suburban Command as well. This really arsehole paper boy throws the paper and it just goes everywhere over the lawn. At least tie some elastic bands or string around the paper before you throw it. Oh, what a dick. But yeah, we're introduced to George Newton. He's just admiring his garden and his life. And then the St. Bernard puppy runs inside and upstairs. And then at this point, George is like, everyone, it's 7 a.m. Time to get up. And it's never explained why he gets his family up at 7 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Why?
Yeah.
Why have they all got to get up at 7 a.m. on a Saturday?
Now, luckily, 80s wives are very compliant because she's like, well, it's dad's rules. We've got to get up at 7 a.m. I mean, what are you doing getting up at 7 a.m.? Also, I just the minute Charles Grodin comes out onto his floor, it's like, well, he looks like an even-tempered and reasonable man. I'm sure he's going to be absolutely lovely.
Charles Grodin is the best thing in this movie. I fucking love this guy. He's so funny.
The other thing that I hadn't noticed this, and when I was watching it when Charles Grodin was there, I was like, he looks weird. And I think it's because at this point he was 26 years older than the woman playing his wife, had dyed his hair very brown, and has the kind of gait and stance of an old man.
Yeah, he was 57, apparently. That blew my mind when I read that. He's like 57. I think he's supposed to be like a 40-year-old or something. He's 57.
Yeah, now, and I think it's HD, he looks like a 57.
Right. Okay. Oh dear. But yeah, the puppy runs inside and goes upstairs, and
no
we
one
see
notices it.
nobody notices it. We see that Ted is sleeping in his parents' room because he has nightmares. Like, isn't this kid like 12? Man up.
He does.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We'll come to that. And then we meet the daughter, Rice. Rice. What a
Yeah,
terrible
Rice.
name.
I didn't notice this at the beginning, and towards the end when he's like, oh, he knows my name. He said my name's Rice. Sorry, say that. Rice. Is it? Have I mishearing that? I had to rewind it several times. But sorry.
Oh, it's Rice.
Rice.
I even remember that as a
That's a
kid. That
name.
was a stupid name. Like, who the hell is called Rice? Middle name Pudding. And then Rice is complaining as well about this stupid Saturday rule. And then her and Ted both run to the bathroom and start arguing over it. I was like, no, hang on a minute. That house is massive. Why is there only one bathroom in that house?
Got the same thing written down. This house would have multiple bathrooms. Also,
Yeah.
you just said that you're bored and it's 7 a.m. and you've got nothing else to do. What are you rushing for? Go back to bed.
Yeah, and also,
sit
like,
down.
if George is getting everybody up at 7 a.m., is it like, right, you're washing the car, you're scrubbing the floor, you're doing this, doing that, or does he just keep people up for the bloody sake of it? Because if we get them up at 7, they're all just going to sit around watching cartoons all day, surely. Yeah, I don't know.
Or pissing and moaning, right?
Exactly.
I think when you've got kids of a certain age, what you want is them to stay in bed as long as possible.
Yes, I've recently become a father, and that's the dream. So yeah. The puppy makes his way into Emily's room, and that's the kid from Kindergarten Cop, and then she's all happy because apparently she had a dream, she had a puppy, and it came true. Then what? Oh yeah, and then they all come downstairs. Oh no, Alice and the kids come in, and no, that's not it. No, that's it. George downstairs, and they confront George and all start being nice to him, and then Emily wants to keep the puppy, and typically Charles Grodin looks horrified, as he would.
Well, at this point I've written down, I wonder if his stern ways will in any way be softened by this dog.
We'll see.
Hmm.
The thing is, right, the kids are outside in the garden playing with it, and his wife Alice seems completely fine with, yeah, we should just keep this dog. And he's making some very, very valid points. But this dog's going to get massive. He's going to eat loads. It's going to cost us loads. He's going to smash the house up. They're going to lose interest, and I'm going to be the one who looks after it and cleans up after him. Does all that happen? Yes.
That's what happens when any family gets a dog.
He's not being unreasonable. This film is like, this man's an arsehole and he doesn't care about his family and he's so selfish. Yeah, but he's also very reasonable, I think. Like, getting a dog is a terrible idea. Why would you do this? And not even a small dog like Sparky the Jack Russell. It's this massive fucking St. Bernard. Oh, God.
Yeah, it is. I think, like, if you've got a Jack Russell, you'd be like, fine, it's small, it's not going to eat a lot, it can't destroy anything within reason, it's not got long hair, so it won't shed everywhere. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I don't know why his wife just seems to think this is a good idea. Anyway, so then George comes out to break the news to them. We're not dog people. We may be goldfish people, but we're definitely not dog people. And the kids just basically manipulate him into keeping it. I'm like, oh, God, spoiled kids. Bobby's just like, why don't you just go, look, I'm the father here, and I'm saying no. Just gets bullied into keeping this dog. Oh, yeah. But
I like how you think that when your child is older that you're going to not get manipulated to do things you don't want to do.
Not to take a massive Jack Russell into our home. If it was the aforementioned St. Bernard, if it was the aforementioned Jack Russell, well, all right, perhaps, but not a St. Bernard. That's ridiculous. He agrees, but he says, oh, it's only temporary, and everyone's all happy that they're going to keep the dog. Yay. This bit was actually quite funny. They all start fishing names out of a hat for his name, and then they pull out the one that Emily's chosen. He said, look, I don't think we can give the dog a body part name. Dad's not going to want to shout out the pool. But that's what you call Uncle Richard. I thought that's actually quite funny.
Classy dick joke.
Yeah.
Very classy.
But then I wonder, because the next one is George's suggestion, and it's never read out. And Alice just looks at him and he just went, "You want my input?" I was like, what did he write down? What's worse than dick? Like, what did he write down that's so awful? She can't even read it out. Although it is a U film. And then she's like, no, we're not calling him that. And then the kids start making some ridiculous things. Like Rice wants to call the dog MC Hammer and Ted wants to call him Ultimate Warrior. Who would call their dog Ultimate Warrior? As you would call their dog MC Hammer. That's kind of cool, actually.
Can I just say again?
Yeah.
Rice.
Yeah, Rice. Yeah, you've got Emily. Fine. Ted. Okay, fine. Rice. I don't know. And then George starts getting exasperated, saying, "Look, it doesn't matter what we call this fucking dog. Like, he doesn't really care what he's called." And then that's when Emily starts playing a tune on a piano. It's like, dun 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 dun, which the dog barks, and then he goes, "Oh, Beethoven." And then we cut to a montage of this house being absolutely destroyed to the tune of "Roll Over Beethoven." And this entire scene made me so upset. So upset.
When I was younger, I legitimately thought the Roll Over Beethoven was written for this film, and I wasn't aware that it was an existing song.
It was the Beatles originally, wasn't it? And this is a cover for the movie, I think.
No, it's not the Beatles.
Is it not?
The Beatles.
I thought it was the Beatles.
It's Motor City 5.
Okay.
5,
all right.
I think.
But I think this particular version that we hear is a cover for this movie. But yeah.
Oh yeah. No, it's definitely a cover.
Yeah. So in this montage, we see Beethoven the puppy getting bigger and bigger and bigger and destroying the house. I think he's eating the Thanksgiving turkeys, drinking out the goldfish bowl. He takes a piss in George's briefcase. There's drool everywhere. And then there's shots of like all the family having fun with the dog. And George is the one cleaning the dog shit off the carpet. He's the one taking the dog out for a walk in the rain.
He's not cleaning the dog shit off the carpet. He's rubbing it in more.
With that brush.
Just like, oh,
God. And there's also like scenes in this montage where they're spending a small fortune on dog food. Like there's a gag where each of them are bringing in a bag of like dog biscuits or whatever, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger as each one of us walking through. It's like, this must be costing you thousands to look after this dog. I mean, this family seem like they're not short of money, but still, bloody hell.
There's a bit with the dog in the montage up on the table, and he's very rough with it, trying to get it off.
Yeah, when he's trying to drink the goldfish.
I was like, don't like that.
And also, that's a terrible way to get that dog off. You should have just put your arms underneath him, gently carry it out, or grab him for the scruff of the neck. Come here.
Gotcha.
Oh, but the bit I said, the last shot that really took the cake is when he comes in and it's been raining outside and he sees there's mud and drool everywhere. He goes up the stairs and he goes, "Yeah." And then he just does this almighty shake and all this mud and drool and whatever else just goes flying all over him. It's like, oh, you bastard. This fucking dog. So upset. I know this scene was played for laughs. Like, ha ha ha, isn't it funny? The dog's destroying the house. But no, it's not funny at all. It's horrible.
It's yeah. I mean, it's also right by this point, with the dog sort of destroying things. Like, how long have they had this dog? Right. So what you've just told me there is not that this dog is a bad dog. What you told me is that you were incapable of training a dog, and also for some reason your children have not aged one day in the time that this dog has grown to the size of a small bus.
Yeah, I presume this is 6 months or so for a puppy to a young adult dog, I believe.
Yeah, between 6 months to a year. Yeah, so
yeah,
they would have aged slightly.
Yeah, and I don't know whether they live in a state like California where it's hot all year round, but the weather doesn't seem to change outside over from when they got this puppy and it's turned into a full-size dog.
Well, it's a balmy 30 degrees again, darling.
Yes. Then what? Yeah, then it's several months later, presumably. It's breakfast time, and George is stressing out about some business deal he's trying to cut because he's looking
for
business. Yeah, that's what everyone wants in a family movie.
It's what you get in every family film, right? What you get is you get the dad who wants business, the wife who's understanding but slightly disappointed, the young girl that's attracted to a boy but does he like her back, and the young son that's bullied.
Yeah, this ticks all the boxes.
Present and correct.
Yeah, 90s movie. What is it exactly? Yeah, he's looking for investment for his car air freshener business. All right, that's the thing. And then
so shit.
Yeah, the company's got like a big nose outside.
It's got several. He's got one on his office wall as well. That man's got a fetish.
Maybe.
Stop rubbing yourself on the nose, George. Stop it. Yeah, that's not how you get investment. Put your trousers on.
There is a
Dick
gag
out of that nostril.
There is a joke about trousers coming up, actually. And this bit's annoying me. Like, he's talking about this business deal, and absolutely nobody's listening to him whatsoever. Everyone keeps on interrupting. Like, Ted wants, like, karate lessons. Emily wants him to scratch his head. And Rice is probably going on about that fucking bloke boy doesn't fancy her.
Sorry. Rice.
Rice.
Girl's name is Rice.
George starts getting annoyed that he hasn't got any bacon. Then he saw that Beethoven ate his bacon. Then he draws him. He's like, no. As he's going upstairs, he's like, I gotta change my trousers, my pants. If I change my pants, I gotta change my shirt. I gotta change my jacket. I gotta change my socks. Well, this is exactly how I would carry on if I had to change my trousers.
That is how you bloody carry on.
That is how I carry on. And he just throws his trousers at his wife and hit her in the face. Oh, God. Fucking funny. And then, yeah, as mentioned, Ted wants karate lessons because he's a little dweeb and he's just getting bullied every day. And he's hiding behind a tree looking at the bus. Now, I'm not going to tell you who it is, but one of those kids is a future star. And I don't know whether that's part of your Smith trivia.
Yes, it is.
Okay, then I will not say who it is. But yeah, that aforementioned person is not one of the bullies later on. So the three kids that Ted's looking at behind the tree are not necessarily the bullies who pick on Ted later on. Anyway, he's all apprehensive and then, runs onto the bus. And then George shuts Beethoven away in his kennel, but that clever old canine has dug himself a hole and promptly escapes. Oh, that rascal. This genuinely made me laugh. Alice is wearing the most 90s mum outfit ever, and she's watering the plants. And George is backing up in his car, and she's already going, oh, bye, honey. She just squirts him through the window. And the look on George's face, fucking priceless.
The glare as he reverses out, just glaring at her.
She doesn't even say sorry. Oh my God, yeah, that was hilarious. Oh dear. Anyway, yeah, I wrote down, I had to rewind that a few times because I was laughing so much. My wife was getting the right. I'm like, all right, can we just move on now? Oh dear. Right, then we see Beethoven on his travels around town, stealing food from cafe tables, drinking fire engine water, and apparently has money to buy a pastry from a bakery.
I don't think he paid for it.
He looked through the window and the woman goes, oh, it starts getting a pastry.
It's just he's like everybody in the town loves Beethoven. He's beloved of the town. I also started at this point, write down things you shouldn't be giving dogs. Yeah. Spaghetti and meatballs. Pastries with chocolate in them, cookies, ice cream, Twinkies, bacon. Don't give these things to dogs.
Fire engine water. My wife started saying, like, oh, no, that's probably fine. They drink any sort of water. I was like, yeah, still, though. We see that Beethoven is sharing his pastry with Sparky the Jack Russell from earlier in an alley, which smelled very much of like Lady of the Tramp. Like they're going to start getting off or something. And then, oh, God, this scene is disgusting. There is a little girl sharing her ice cream with Beethoven. He's licking it, she's putting it back in her mouth, and then they're just going back and forth with this ice cream. It's like, unless that was cleverly edited, that is absolutely horrendous. Why would you share your ice cream with a dog? You're going to get worms.
And you deserve it.
So then we get sweaty, shirtless Mark playing basketball. And I'm like, is this Team Wolf all over again?
I wrote those are some sweaty boys.
Is basketball that sweaty? I don't know.
Depends on what it is.
Yeah, true. Then we get...
I just very quickly was like, check to see if director is nonce.
Yeah.
No! Good.
I don't know. There's a scene later on that got me questioning that, but yeah, we'll come to that in a minute.
Yeah, I know exactly
what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I had to then double check. Director is not.
Are you sure, director?
Are you sure? Did Victor Salva secretly direct this film?
Jesus, don't get me started on him. Anyway, right. So Rice is watching.
Rice. This girl's name is Rice. What's her name? It's a starchy food stuff.
It really is. But that person is watching.
Is my daughter, Spaghetti.
And my son, Oops. Anyway. Anyway, enough about Rice. Anyway,
I like Rice.
I do too. He doesn't even notice her, but he does notice the most popular girl in school. Oh no, she's crushed. Then we're at George's workplace where we meet Fox Mulder and Deborah from Everyone Loves Raymond. And then these are the people that George was talking about earlier about that business deal. So he's like showing them all his products and all that sort of stuff.
At this point, I shouted at the TV, "Don't trust him, George. He's an X-file."
Truth is out there. Yeah. So then we cut to Ted eating lunch and the bullies come over and ruin his lunch and they just pour milk all over his sandwich. What are you assholes? It was an horrible looking sandwich anyway, let alone pouring milk over
school
it.
bullies in American films in the 90s, they always look like kids that you just really want to slap around the back of the head. And not because, they're like big, tough bullies, but they just look like they need a slap.
Just obnoxious little shits. And one of them's dressed like he's in a biker gang or something.
They always are. They always are. It's like, well, I'm a bully, so I'm going to have to go with the jean cut off and the leather fingerless gloves.
And a do-rag. Yeah. So then Beethoven... Sorry, go on.
I was going to say just for that bit where George is in his office and he's talking about business. And I was like, I do wonder if something's going to get in the way and make him realize that something's more important than money. I wonder if that might happen later in this fight. Oh, I wonder if. I wonder if.
Yeah. I wonder what's more important than providing for your family and making sure they've got enough money to live comfortably. Yeah, I wonder if it'd be more important.
Being at home with them all the time. Which is really, really important when the bank comes and forecloses on your house because you can't pay your mortgage.
But at least we have a dog.
A dog that helps with all your kids' problems in a quick couple of scenes so that we don't have to refer to them again at all.
No, and then right on cue, Beethoven goes to meet Rice at school. And then she seems to be expecting him like they've made an arrangement because I think she says something like, "Sorry, I'm late." Like,
sorry, class overran. Dog's like, "Come on, what time do you call this?
Where's my Twinkie?" Yeah, also add to that list of food lists. You should not be giving dogs.
Don't be giving the dog Twinkie. Don't be doing that, right? It's not for him.
No.
It's barely for people. Fucking horrible.
Exactly. Oh, I love Twinkies. They're awesome. But yeah, they're terribly, terribly fattening. She starts talking about her love woes to Beethoven, which I'm sure he wants to hear all about. But that... Go on.
It's when she's like, she's so perfect and she's got perfect hair and she's just so beautiful. I'm like, sure it's Mark you're after? Because it feels like it's her that you sort of got a bit of a thing for.
Yeah, maybe. Love is a dangerous game. That matchmaker hound then leads Mark over to Rice and then brings him over. They bond over the dog. And guess what? Mark knows her name. Rice.
I mean, you wouldn't not know it. You would not know that her name was Rice. If there was someone in your class called Rice, you'd make a fucking mental note. You'd keep that one just for later. I loved it. It was like, she might have all those perfect things, but she doesn't have a cool dog. And then Willie goes over there. He's like, "Oh, look, cool dog."
Like, "Oh, hey, boy. Hey, yeah.
Hey, dude, you got a stick. You want me to come with you? Cool. Whoa, a girl."
For all Beethoven's faults, though, he is pretty cool.
I mean, if I did say to Hannah, like, if a dog came up to me with a stick, was like, huh? I'd be like, "Yeah, well, hello."
You better believe I will.
I'll come wherever you want.
Yeah, as long as you don't come around my house because I don't want it destroyed. Oh dear. Anyway, so we're back at George's work and the investors drive off. And there's this really weird bit where they all keep saying ciao and then they wave out the sunroof and it's really pretentious. It's like, oh, cringy. And then George just sort of jumps up and does this really funny dance. I don't know why it popped me as much as it did. Oh dear. Back at home, Beethoven steals a cookie. Why is there just a plate of cookies just lying out on the table?
Chocolate chip cookie. Don't be giving dogs chocolate. It will kill them.
It will. We're back on the bus and the bullies are being real dicks to Ted, like emptying his bag everywhere and stealing his glasses. I'm like, "Oh, you kids are the fucking worst." Like, and the bus driver does nothing about it. He's like, "Yeah, whatever."
I mean, I wouldn't. But
yeah,
what are you going to do?
What are you
going to do? Because all that's going to happen is you're going to end up punching a child. That's a lawsuit.
I've often wondered what would happen if they're like, kids are pissing around in the cinema, they've antagonised you so much, you just give them a clip round the ear. Oh, you're in so much trouble. Like, oh no!
Get arrested. That's what would happen.
Why must we take their abuse?
It's common assault.
Well, they can be dicks and ruin the film for me. Anyway, So Ted flees the bus, and then Beethoven somehow has some sixth sense that Ted is in trouble and comes to his rescue.
He's just like, huh?
It's like fucking Rin Tin Tin or Lassie or something like that.
In the long history of psychic dogs. Beethoven. I was trying to work on a theory about what Beethoven might have been in a prior life, because he seems to be reincarnated. He seems to have a sixth sense for danger, but also for contract law.
Yeah, and he understands when people are like taking someone for a ride. Like, hang on a minute.
Hold on a minute. You should always read the small print, George.
Yeah, always. So Ted starts squaring up to the bullies, unaware that Beethoven's behind him, and he starts snarling, and the bullies are just like, "Oh no, take your glasses. We're so sorry." It runs off, and then Ted's like, "Yeah, don't come back."
One of them says, I wrote it down, "What's going on here?"
It's a dog.
It's a dog. It's very self-explanatory. What's going on here? It's a big dog.
Be more concerned if it was like a big rabbit behind him or something like that.
Yeah, then that's valid. What's going on here? There's a giant rabbit.
Yeah. Now, the next scene's problematic. Initially, it was funny, but this scene went on for a little bit too long for my liking. I was like, hang on a minute.
I think the word you're looking for is lingered.
Lingered.
That camera lingered.
So essentially, Ted's in his boxer shorts, just like admiring himself in the mirror and flexing, being like, "Yeah, I'm an hard nut for scaring off those bullies."
Music, to the dumbest music, like do 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 do.
Yeah, but it was a bit nonce vibes, but I don't know.
Straight nonce vibes. I mean, I can just imagine the editor being like, "Let's just hold it for one more second.
No.
One more, and I'm finished."
Yeah, and then cue to the next kid's problems. We go back to Rice, and she's going on about that Mark bloke again. And Beethoven, like, "Oh, fuck, so will you stop going on that poor dog? Sorry, and listen to this all day." And then George comes to say goodnight and orders him outside. And then just as he leaves, Rice comes to the pillow and goes, "Oh, Mark."
Yeah. Made me laugh so much. She just grabs her pillow and goes,
You're like 13 or something like that, or 14 or whatever. Oh, so childish. George takes Beethoven out to his kennel, and he's happy that he complies. But well, that's very nice of you. That's progress. And then Alice and George are in bed, and he's essentially trying to force her back to work. "Well, you got to come back to work. You got to come back to work. We'll just get a babysitter." I was like,
so the way I've interpreted this with the 26, 27-year age gap between the two is that she was probably like his assistant at some point, and he got her up the.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
That's the story I'm writing in my head here.
Yeah, because I remembered it wrong. I remembered Alice worked somewhere else, but then later on you see that, oh no, she worked for the family business. But all right, yes. So that theory makes sense. Right, there was. Yeah, and that crafty critter Beethoven has sneaked back into the house and he wants to steal another cookie and watch the telly. Right, okay.
And then, I mean, he has an appreciation for plot points.
He does, because right on cue, we get some exposition about what's going on. About
a 500% increase. A 500% increase in pet theft.
Wonder if this will come back.
But Beethoven goes like,
oh. But then Beethoven starts watching the Wolfman for some reason. I was like, what relevance does this have? I don't see it.
I was like watching it like, I wish I was watching the Wolfman.
Yeah. Those transformation scenes are quite impressive. Yeah.
It's cracking film.
Yeah. I don't actually mind the remake as well with Benicio del Toro. But anyway. George comes downstairs to investigate, switches the telly off, and then presumably Alice must have gone off to have a slash and tuck the kids in, that sort of thing.
Well, you see her turning like the thermostat down or something. I don't know what she's doing.
Yeah.
She's got out of bed.
But in the meantime, Beethoven's managed to get inside of the parents' bed without anyone noticing. And then we get the hilarity.
Tucked himself in.
Yeah. And then we get
before this, there's sorry, we skipped past it. The bit where he's trying to force her to get back to the office, get back to the workforce. And she was like, she's going to give him one special wish for his birthday, and then immediately turns her back on him. I was like, oh, that's a special wish, is it? Wait.
His one wish was for her to go back to work. I was like, one wish?
Dare dream, mate. Dare dream.
But yeah, we get the old hilarity of George not realising it's Beethoven in the bed next to him, and Alice, and then Beethoven starts to carry out sexual activity on him on a blissfully unaware George. And then he makes a funny comment initially of, "Oh, honey, it's not even Saturday night." And then he adds a really creepy one, "Has Daddy's little girl been naughty?" I went, what the fuck, George? George, what the fuck?
George. She's 27 years younger than you, mate. You shouldn't be saying that.
Really shouldn't. And then what makes it further creepy? Yeah, he was 57 and she was like 29 when they filmed this. Oh, George, you're better than
George,
this.
mate.
Alice and Roy.
Then she comes back in and she's like, George, why are you fucking the dog?
I think Beethoven's on proper riding up against him, licking his ear and all that. I didn't put his lipstick in him. And then George realises that he was molested by a dog. He's furious. Follows Beethoven outside and tell him how much he hates him. And then that's when he discovers the hole in the kennel. He's like, right, that's it. You'll never get it out. And then right on cue, the sprinklers turn on. And again, he sells it so well. And just slowly turns around dejected and walks back into the house. Oh, dear. Then we cut to, for some reason, Sparky the dog is helping a tramp with tin cans, and then he's recaptured by Harvey and Vernon, who've been absent for like the last 40 minutes.
Oh, yeah, they're barely in it.
Barely in it. And he's brought back to that lockup with all the other animals. Like, are you feeding these animals? They've been in cages for 6 months. They don't seem to have changed.
This is the point that I've realised is well, one, I really hated the way the Stanley Tucci was picking that dog up because he had him by the scruff of the neck and he was just kind of flinging him about.
That's later on. Like, that's later on. He picks him up by the scruff of the neck. Yeah,
I didn't like that. But it's the point where I realised that actually, it having been 6 months, maybe even a year, all those dogs that they kidnapped at the beginning are dead by now.
Oh, yeah, because they say some morbid shit later on.
Yeah, the inference here is that all those dogs have been murdered by being injected by various chemicals of some sort or shot.
Oh, God. And then,
I am not sure what the business model here is.
No, and this is where it gets further complicated because some bloke who we never even find out who the fuck he is, he's telling Dr. Varnick, who finally re-emerges in this movie, and he wants them to test bullets on dogs for some reason. I've written down the fuck for.
Just to see what happens. I've always wondered what would happen if you shot a Saint Bernard in the face. Can you do that? Jim will fix it.
With this one particular bullet. It can't be a regular bullet, mine. It's got to be this bullet. And
We're testing these new bullets.
He needs big skull dogs for this experiment. And he goes, I don't think I can do that. And he gives him a shit load of cash. Yeah, all right, I can do that. Why has this vet got involved in shooting dogs in the head with guns?
How's he advertising these services? He's like, do you need to test your chemicals? Do you need to test your chemicals or guns? Maybe you just want to kick a kitten. Come down to Pet Supplies.
It's actually a really good impression, brother.
I'm not evil.
No. Oh, dear. And then next day we see that he's actually a vet. Oh, because we're at the vet surgery and that rascal Dr. Varnick works there and very convenient there to give Beethoven his injections. And then he suggests that Beethoven should stay overnight. And he starts like really grabbing hold of his mouth like, oh, he's marvelous.
It's where he talks to George and he's like, can I speak to you in private, please? And then just leaves. George doesn't follow him.
It's another 5 minutes till George follows him because then he starts having arguments with his kids about Beethoven staying over the night and stuff.
He probably came back and went, sorry, I meant now.
Yeah, it's a really serious continuity error. And then Beethoven sees an injection that a nurse has got and faints. And then Varnick's saying, some birds are overbred. I've had to put some down in the past. And I thought I'd bring this to your attention because you've got kids. It's like,
I'm not evil. Don't let the voice fool you, or the cape, or the fact that my feet don't appear to touch the floor when I move.
He might as well have been wearing a cape.
Oh, this top hat? It's just a thing I like to wear.
Oh, dear. There was a funny bit as well when he goes, have you noticed anything peculiar about your dog? And then Charles Grodin just goes, he's ruined my life. And I wish I was kidding. It was, that's very funny. So he just told you he wasn't kidding. Oh, dear. Then we cut to a barbecue in the garden, and George tells Alice if Beethoven ever acts weird, then he's gone. And then she makes a funny comment like, what if he's not wearing my clothes around the house? So right, bravo, that's quite good. And then, oh, Jesus Christ. Alice takes the kids to this most fucking awful woman's house to be babysit. I've written down, this woman is the fucking worst. I would hate my parents so much if I had to be babysat by this woman. She's so over the top and pretentious and cringe. I hated her.
She's also singing Voulez-Vous, or Lady Marmalade. She's singing Lady Marmalade with the children, which is highly inappropriate.
Yeah, on an organ. It's so odd. But Oh, we're jumping ahead, but at the moment she's just taking them there. She's like, "Oh, hey, you kill these." Um, Beethoven's locked up at home, and George has now secured that home with all the rocks. And then we see that the investors are back at George's work and they want to invest. It's a really funny scene where they shake George's hand, but they don't shake Alice's for some reason. She's like, "Oh, all right then." Then they start making a really shitty comment when they say, "I'll come round to our house for a barbecue." And then Mulder starts making a joke about the coffee. Oh, I better be in this espresso. And I was like, going, ha 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 ha.
So she clearly hates these people. Why does she want them in her house? Just go to a restaurant.
Yeah, they just said, "We will take you out for a meal." Why didn't they just go, "Yeah, all right then, if you're paying for it, why are you entertaining these people at your home and you've got to pay for all the food?" I don't know.
Also, you've got a giant dog.
Yeah.
A giant dog that isn't afraid of ruining things.
Everything. Yeah. Right. And then, yeah, we cut back to that awful woman, as you said, playing Lady Marmalade for some reason on the organ. It's awful. And then I don't know why Emily just starts going outside with a ball and starts fucking around. And then, yeah, apparently Beethoven has a sixth sense that she's going to do what she's going to do before it's happened. And then he knows, even though it's quite a walkway, because I always remember it being next door and he sees what happens. No, it's about 10 houses down the street and suddenly he realizes what's going to happen and runs off. And of course, Emily falls in the pool. But it's okay because Emily's there to rescue her. Sorry, Beethoven's there to rescue her.
I enjoy the unnecessary bikini woman he jumps over on the way there.
Oh, I don't know if that's for the dads who've taken their kids to watch. Oh.
Beethoven's for the dads.
Yeah.
Oh, good boy.
Such a good boy. Yeah, that woman's really annoyed with Emily saying, "Oh, let's keep it a secret." And then Rice.
Yeah, never say that to children. Never say that to children. This is just our secret.
Yeah, she's like, "No, I'm going to call my mother," which is actually the correct thing to do, that Rice said, you know.
Rice.
Yeah.
His name is Rice.
And then Alice picks the kids up and then she just finds this dreadful woman and she pulls the most hilarious face when she gets fired. Like, I don't know why it cracked me up laughing as much. Like, obviously, you're going to be fired. Why are you so shocked?
Oh, this is the point where then the mum's like, "Well, I can't possibly go to work. I'm going to stay and look after the kids." It's like, you're just looking for an excuse not to go to work.
Lazy cow.
The film is very keen on women not on the mum being right for not wanting to go to work. Right?
Exactly.
It's basically like, you can have a career, boo, or a family, yay, but you can't have both.
No, it's not very progressive, is it?
But then you can also have a good old crack at George for actually wanting to work.
Yeah, and want to expand the business and earn more money. It's like, you can't have it both ways. All right, come on.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. So then we cut to the barbecue at the Newton's house. And the investors are there. And they're being really rude to the kids, being like, "No, we don't want kids. We want a career," or something like that. Like, oh, God.
Yeah, you can't have both.
No, you can't. And then Beethoven's been fastened nearby for some reason. It's like George nailed him down at the grass or whatever, so he doesn't fuck this up. But he overhears their dastardly plan about it. He goes, "Oh, we're going to take this place over." How? Some sort of hostile takeover by investing into George's company. What exactly was their plan? I don't get it.
I think the contract probably signed over more than 51% of the total voting rights to them, so they'd be able to push George out and take full ownership. I'm not a contract lawyer.
But that contract was only one A4 piece of paper. There wasn't any loophole in it.
It was just like, "We give you our business," signed to George.
Yeah. And then Alice keeps trying to delay him signing it, and then she's bought vegetables outside for some reason. And then the investors are smart to what she's doing. Is, "Oh, can I get a top up lemonade?" And then Alice just backwashes it, which I thought was really funny. And then Deborah from Everybody Loves Raymond just smashes the glass as well. So they're on to Alice. They know she doesn't like them. And then for some reason, Patricia Heaton starts being really cringe around Beethoven. She just said she didn't like kids, but then she likes dogs for some reason. And then
she's not a monster.
No, and then Mulder makes a comment that, kids don't obey, whereas dogs do, or something like that. And I was like,
"You've not met Beethoven or any dog."
No. And then during all this, Beethoven's walking around the table, wrapping his leash round and round and round. And then George continues to be hesitant about signing the contract, and Beethoven's being a pest and poking his head up and all that sort of thing. And throughout this, David Duchovny's been holding a dog ball in his hand. And at this point, he's getting really fed up of Beethoven's being around. He throws it, and because obviously Beethoven's wrapped his leash around the table, I wonder what's going to happen. And then, they're dragged across the lawn, they flip across the fence, and then they're just properly dragged down the road. And that's the last
out of the film.
Yeah, that's the last we'll see of them.
See, I remembered them having a bigger part.
Me too.
When I was a kid. I remember them being like the main villains or something. Like I had it in my head that they were like main villains or big villains. I also had it in my head that they were their neighbors for some reason, but I think I'm conflating that with a different film.
That rings a
Wait
bell.
a minute, is that not in the sequel? Perhaps is that Beethoven's second? Because I think Debbie Mazar's in the sequel. She might be.
No, she's not their neighbours, but there is something about neighbours in the second one. You're right.
Yeah.
We're not rewatching the second one for the record.
No. I barely remembered this, let alone that one.
Yeah. Oh, and also I put a note when they're being dragged down the street. You can clearly see it's stunt performance. It's not like they're pressure shaken.
One of them's black. Look, we got a we could guess.
Oh, then we cut to George is outside in his garden and he's really upset about the business deal and he's talking about his dislike for Beethoven. And of course the kids are eavesdropping. And Alice is saying that the investors are arseholes and she doesn't want their money. And then she makes a comment, I know my opinion doesn't matter. Why doesn't it matter? You're his wife. I know I'm supposed to do what I'm told.
80s wife. It's also the line which is like, Beethoven's just a dog, but he's the only one who gave them the ride they deserved. It's like, he's a dog. It was an accident. He didn't do it on purpose. Right? He couldn't possibly have done it on purpose. He's a dog.
Yeah, she said, I'm really proud of him. It's like, he's not a person.
He's a fucking dog. He just did something because this is the bit which is really unfair to him. She's like, oh, you just care all about your business. You don't care about us. It's like, but you don't have a job. You don't want to go back to it. You can stay and look after your family. How do you think the bills get paid and the mortgage gets paid and the food gets bought and the dog gets paid for? I mean, at the moment, you're probably doing fine because he's also like, but what about we could have more? It's like, yes, the misery of living in this really large house that we have. What a terrible life.
Yeah, and how do we know that cash injection they were going to get from the investors wasn't going to save the business? Something like that. I mean, it was all part of a sinister plan anyway, but she doesn't know that, Selfish.
Yeah.
But yeah, he says something like, oh, my dreams going down the drain, all my family can care about the dog because your family going down the drain, all you can care about is dreams. Like, how is his family going down the What has he done to be so awful? I really don't get this. He just doesn't like the dog.
He doesn't like the dog and makes you get up at 7 a.m. on a Saturday. He's not knocking you about.
Exactly. Not a drug.
He's not drinking and taking meth.
Yeah, they've not got Remo men taking a car away or anything like that.
At no point have they shown him working till like midnight and never being home or missing the big game. No, he's there. He's present.
It's quite he's
home all the fucking time. Getting harassed by a dog.
Oh, I'm being bullied by his kids. Yeah, no, it's terrible. But then
this awful prick he is.
Yeah. Awful. And then this bit really pissed me off. We get shots the next day of the kids doing exactly what they should have done from the very start, i.e. sharing the chores and looking after the dog instead of having George do it all of himself. Like, why didn't you all just say, right, you're going to do the walking, you're going to wash him, you're going to feed him. Why did it have to get to this point? Like, oh shit, the dog's going to go, we better start pulling our weight. Selfish little shit.
When I was a kid and I had a dog, I didn't do anything. I used to kind of walk him around the corner and just sit there for half an hour, then come back. So I didn't want to go for a walk.
Having a fag.
Yeah, my mum could see me though. She was like, I can see you. I was like,
oh, cheated.
It's also they're playing a bit of Nintendo.
No.
At this point. Is that
the Nintendo's a bit later.
Right.
Yeah. Now this bit we get shots of also the kids making George breakfast. For some reason, Ted's dressed like a real wanker. He's wearing a suit. Like, why are you wearing a fucking suit? What is wrong with you?
That's what I'd have done as a child to impress my parents. Put a tie on, you see. So I'm a pretty serious man.
Oh dear. And then the kids are explaining that Beethoven won't be any trouble for George going forward. Sure he will. Then we get to the bit with the Nintendo. Yeah, the kids are playing in the rooms. I think they're playing Mario 3 or something.
Well, the thing is, they're playing Mario. One of them's got a power glove on. Power glove. One of them's got a controller. Single player game. Don't know what they think they're doing.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah, because then she said, oh no, leave that for me or something like that. But yeah, you're right. It is a single player game.
Oh, leave that leave for me. It's like, stand up.
Yeah, that made him fly. That was Mario 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, that dastardly Dr. Varnick arrives at the Newton's home to do a check.
Mrs. Newton, I wonder if I could come in. I'm not evil, you see.
I love the fact she didn't go, who the fuck are you? She was quite all right. I'm just letting him in.
What's that thunder and lightning? Oh, that's nothing. It just follows me around.
And then takes him to the kennel where Beethoven is and just leaves him, as you do. And then, at this point, he pretends the dog's attacked him by like putting a lot of fake blood all over him, and then just like wallops him. And Emily's seeing all this from her bedroom window, so she knows he's full of shit.
The thing is, he puts all this fake blood on himself, and then while the dog is like, I'm pretty sure if you wallop that dog hard enough, he will just bite you.
Yeah. Yeah, he would have bit you for real. But yeah.
I mean, why did you just put the blood on yourself and then fall over and go, oh no?
I think she was antagonising, so he jumped all over him. Yeah, but no, you're right. He could have just pretended. Oh, he was attacking me. Then he backed off. Yeah, they all ran outside to help.
What was he doing there anyway?
He said it was a follow-up after those rabies shots. So like,
okay.
But why? You wouldn't just have an impromptu follow-up like that. Vets are busy people.
Ding dong. Hello, I'm a vet.
So did we do all this already? I know.
Any pets? I go door to door.
The pets, you see. Anyway, so then George walks
this damned recession.
Right, enough. Right, George walks forward next to his car and explains, like, unless you bring the dog to the surgery, he's gonna have to put it down, otherwise he'll press charges. I'm like, oh no, what a dilemma George has been put in. And then all the kids are crying with Alice because they're saying, oh, he's going to get rid of Beethoven and he's always hated him. And then it's quite a sad bit, actually. Like, George fetches Beethoven from his kennel when he puts him in the car. He doesn't even let the kids say goodbye. He just, like, throws him in the car and drives off.
Probably for the best. They'd only try and stop you.
Yeah. And, like, Rice, he's like running frantically after the car.
I mean, I was like, I was like, she's not going to catch me. She's giving it a good bloody go.
Yeah, she was.
She's a quick kid. I was like, the thing, like, kids need to learn their opinions don't fucking matter.
Yeah.
So if I want to go and kill this dog, I'm going to kill this dog.
Oh, exactly.
And I don't want any blood. I don't want any bloody lip.
None. But no, George isn't happy about this, and he's talking to Beethoven in the car about how his dad did the same thing years ago, and he never forgave him and doesn't want to do it.
This is the class of Charles Grodin being a fairly decent actor, just being able to deliver this stuff, and actually get a drip of pathos out of it. It's just like,
yeah, I like Charles Grodin in this film. He's good. And then at the doctor's surgery, Dr. Vardy's giving himself a fake bandage. And when George arrives, he said, oh, my arm's okay. 37 stitches. Like, didn't this happen an hour ago?
What? Yeah, I was like, what? Since this morning?
You work fast.
I mean, you're in a vet.
I did it myself.
Yeah, I'm a vet. It's the same thing, really. It's just like stitching, but with flesh. Delicious flesh. I'm not evil, you see. Now, bring your dog into the Temple of Doom. That's just a name.
At this point, he's going, oh, you're doing the right thing. And then, yeah.
Dogs deserve to be dead. They belong dead.
Well, that film, All Dogs Go to Heaven, that is so depressing. We won't cover that. It's so sad. It's so goddamn sad.
Is that what this animated film? So it's called what?
The Family Pet Will Be Dead. All right, cool.
Oh. Teaching children about grief, the animated film.
Yeah. Yeah, then we have a really touching moment where George is sort of cuddling Beethoven. He went, you were my dog too. And I was like, oh, yeah, George Grodin is a very good actor. Yeah, it was a bit sad. And then Varnick's like this.
He's like, well, he's nobody's dogs now. He's a rug. I mean, nothing.
Rally, we see. Yeah, throws him into a kennel. And then a good plot point coming up. A woman on reception says, the bloke who does the lethal injections won't be here till the morning, so I'm going to have to charge George for a night's boarding. I love the way he's all right with that. I'm like, you bloody moron! You're forcing me to kill my dog, and you're going to charge me £100 to keep him overnight.
Well, ain't that just the thing?
Oh,
it's like, luckily, the guy that handles the lethal injections isn't here, so we'll have to hold him overnight. Just enough time for you to change your mind and some sort of epiphany with your children, but...
Yeah, of course. The other dogs in the surgery look sad. They must know he's a dog killer. And then when he gets home, all the kids leave the table upset, and even Emily calls him a dog killer. And then...
I mean, that'd be good. Like, I mean, peace and quiet.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, dear. Then what happens? Yeah, Beethoven's loaded into a van by Harvey and Vernon and brought to that warehouse to be other dogs. And, yeah, we see Sparky, the Jack Russell's there. And then there's this really weird bit when they both talk to each other. Can we eat? Oh, are you hungry? Yeah, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I was like, what are these guys supposed to be a bit mentally challenged or something? Like, they're just the way they're playing this is just so odd. I don't get it.
I had to correct myself from something I said earlier. Stanley Tucci's film was called Big Night, not Opening Night, and it was out in 1996. So well after this, he developed as an actor in the intervening.
That makes more sense.
4 years.
I'd
imagine he was still slumming it in this. I mean, him and Oliver Platt both are much better than this.
Yeah, well, actors have got to start somewhere, haven't they? Yeah, George and Alice are outside discussing what's happened. Alice is very sad, and then George is doubting whether he's done the right thing. And Alice is like, "Oh, it's not the same without Beethoven. Oh, he brought Karen to this family and all this sort of shit." And then they're like,
"We're nothing without him. Nothing."
This dog that's ruined our lives. Yeah. It's like, can we just go back to the vet and speak to Dr. Farnick? And he makes a really good point. He went, what? He's not just going to admit it. Oh, yeah, I did hit the dog after all,
Yeah.
like that.
And she
And
goes, but why don't we listen to our child instead of a man we've only met twice? It's like, well, that's a good point. But also, children are idiots. Maybe
yeah,
don't listen to children. They're full of shit. They talk absolute nonsense.
exactly. And then right on cue, the bastard kids want to go too. And I'm like, why don't these parents just tell these kids to shut the fuck up? No, you're not coming with us. Go back to bed. You know?
Yeah. You are children. You will do as you are told, and you will stay fucking here.
Exactly. Then we see Varnick topping up his blood money at the vet, and then George. I'm sorry.
Why is he in his office at night? Like when they go to see him, it's like it's night. Why is he there?
I don't know, because then he's on the way to that place where Harvey and Vernon are at. So I don't
Go to his night job where he shoots dogs and he checks them with bleach.
Oh,
I got these new golf clubs to try out on a miniature schnauzer. They're really the nearest thing to a ball in nature.
oh yeah. The Georgian family arrive at the vet, so they want their dog back. And Varnick explains how the dog's been destroyed. And then George's like, no, that's not true. I was told it was done tomorrow. At which point Rice pushes past, goes, oh, I don't believe you. And Varnick grabs hold of her. And George's like, I'll get your hands off her. And then he realises that there's no stitches on his arms. Like, that bit was actually kind of cool. He's like, all right, good. And then they go to where Beethoven was being kept, and he's not there. And then Varnick's like, you punch me, I'll have you done for assault and battery and press charges. And then George just punches him in the face.
Also, if he said that, what foot is he standing on there? Because although he'd be like, yeah, also he nicked my dog, and he's shooting them in the warehouse.
Exactly.
I mean, on balance of crime.
Yeah, just one man's word against another. But the thing is, the family aren't even like, oh, Dad, you shouldn't have done that. They all start congratulating, like, oh, yeah, way to go for punching him. That was awesome. It's like, if my dad punched him, I'm like, oh, dear. Oh, this got dark. This got really dark really quick.
It's like, I just think, what's the lesson there? It's like, you can solve all of your problems with violence.
That's what 90s family movies always taught me. So as George is walking out, he's like, yeah, I think I'm going to need an x-ray. I was like, as a man who has broken his knuckle, I can assure you, yes, you will. If you punch anything, you will break your hand. Doesn't matter if it's a person, a brick wall, or the ground. Just don't punch anything.
I once punched a tree.
As you do.
Broke my finger.
There you go. Don't punch anything.
Nope.
This bit's so stupid. George is on a public phone to someone, I presume the cops, and they just don't care. He's like, oh, I should find a report on you. And then George spots Varnick getting into his Porsche. And I was like, how can he afford a Porsche? Oh, that blood money from the animals. That's how.
Killing dogs is a very lucrative business.
Really?
I don't understand why you'd pay a man off to shoot dogs.
I still don't understand this.
I also love the way he's leaving his office like do 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 do. Like
yeah, with his briefcase.
Office.
After just been punched in the face.
And then, he's no selling it.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, look, let's follow him. And then I'm really unsubtly get in the car and follow him. And Ted makes a comment like, Dad, have you never followed someone before? So would you like to like, Ted, who have you followed before? Like, what?
Yeah. Talking about Ted. Well, you're full of shit, mate. You
Ted.
It's also like, oh, quickly, let's follow him in my inconspicuous red jacket and car full of children.
Yeah. The same old car that seems to be any family movie. Yeah. Back in the warehouse, Harvey and Vernon are burning evidence. Now, I remember when I was a kid, I always just think that was puppies that were throwing into that furnace. I was like, oh no, it's just papers. So,
I wrote down here, I was like, well, that's the last of the kittens. Now onto the dog.
yeah. Although they do make a comment about, oh, we're going to have to kill the dogs. He went because he told us to burn all the evidence. I'm like, oh, or destroy all the evidence. Oh, God.
I'm assuming that he's killed a load of dogs. I said earlier, like, he's killed a load of dogs already, right? There's no way that those dogs have just hung around for like 6 months, a year.
No, exactly. Yeah. The Newtons have tracked Varnick to the warehouse, and then George goes inside to investigate, as you do. He's like, Alice, he tells Alice, if I'm not back in 15 minutes, call the police. But didn't you just call the police? And they couldn't give a shit. They go, oh, you again, is it?
Yeah, but this time it's like my husband's broken into a warehouse.
Oh, then we should arrest him then.
Attention. Yeah, well, exactly.
Yeah. Then we see Varnick is setting up a bunch of syringes for some reason on a table.
Bring me a small one for this chemical test.
Yeah, that's exactly what he says. And then one of them says, I know exactly which one to bring. And that's, Stanley Tucci grabs hold of Sparky by the scruff of the neck. I'm like, don't do that. He doesn't like that.
I've read about that in one of our seamless breaks. Mm-hmm. It was the dog was specifically trained to be picked up by the scruff of its neck.
Okay, fine. Less evil than. Then Beethoven bursts out of the cage because his friend's being attacked, and then chases off Vernon and Harvey, and they all start being like, screaming. And then for some reason, George is on the roof. I'm like, why are you on the roof?
Well, the door's locked. There's only one thing for it. Get on the roof.
The roof. Vernon and Harvey managed to restrain Beethoven, and Alice decides to go call the cops, leave the kids in the car, and then Varnick is about to shoot Beethoven, and then suddenly George goes, crashes through the ceiling.
Dead.
And I always felt like, did he mean to do that, or did he just lay down and go, oh shit, and he just broke?
I assume he meant to jump, but you'd be
die.
cut to ribbons.
Or break your legs.
Well, yeah. Compound fractures, lacerations, probably some sort of brain hemorrhage. You'd be fucked.
Yeah. And then Varnick upgrades.
He's got a gun.
He has got a gun. Yeah, and then Varnick upgrades himself to man murder because he points the gun presumably at George to shoot him. And then he's gone from dog murder to man murder. And then suddenly out of nowhere, Sparky runs up and bites Varnick right in the cock. And I remember when I was a kid being like, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Sparky's the real hero in this whole thing. He really got Beethoven out of prison. He's getting the villain in the cock. He was helping that old guy, that old homeless guy. What a hero.
Exactly. He's not destroying some man's house. Maybe they should, keep Sparky instead of Beethoven. And then, oh God, they hear the gunshot and Ted decides he's going to drive the car through the warehouse. I hate this in movies. Like, kids are, come on, we're going in. Oh, well, fuck you.
Really, driving a car is real fucking hard.
You don't know how to drive a car.
I mean, I know it's an automatic because it's American, so it's probably American laziness saving the day again. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's a breakdown of order, right? He told his wife and kids, "You stay here." She's got out within 15 minutes to go and call the police.
Yeah.
She said, "You stay here." They've ignored her. Where does it end, Stu? Where does it end?
At no point are these kids ever disciplined for their dreadful behaviour. But yeah.
No, and then we rewarded, if anything, with a dog.
And then we get a continuity error because as Ted bursts through, he knocks over the table of syringes and the syringes clearly falls on the floor. And then we get another scene where he drives straight into the syringes and they all go flying into Dr. Varnick. And when I was a kid, I was like, wouldn't that kill him? Like, I was really
if what he was about to inject a dog with would have killed the dog, it would have killed him. Although I don't think the plunge is depressed.
Exactly.
Right? So he's just sort of got some needles in him, which would hurt like shit.
Yeah, but he just seems like he's being sedated or something. But they've not. They're right. The plungers haven't got it. It makes no sense.
It'd either be dead or it would have no effect.
Yeah, and Ted seems pleased with himself. Like, cool. It's like, you might have just killed a man.
Yeah, cool. I just killed someone. All right. Cool. The dog.
Little dweeb. Anyway, the family reunite with Beethoven and everyone's happy, but then Harvey and Vernon run away, and then the Newtons free the dogs for some reason out of the cage instead of just calling the police and let them deal with it. And then Ted orders the dogs after. He goes like, "Second, boys." Fuck you, Ted, little dweeb.
You really hate Ted.
Oh, I really don't like Ted. I don't blame those bullies for bullying him. Anyway. And then there's a big chase along the street with Harvey and Vernon, and they escape to a car pound, and they start like showing their asses and being like, "Stupid, stupid dog." It's just so cringe and horrible. Second-hand embarrassment. And then they turn around.
Goes on for about 5 seconds too long as well, because you know exactly what's about to happen.
Oh yeah, 4 massive Rottweilers turn up, and then I presume when I was a kid, as well killed them, but then no,
no, severely mutilated.
Yeah, went for their throats and everything. But then we get news footage at the Newtons' home showing that Varnick and the goons have been jailed for their animal cruelty. And then, Harvey and Vernon have all got like bandages on and stuff where they've just been bitten by those dogs. And then George explains that Beethoven's part of their family and sort of awkwardly explains he hasn't always been a dog lover. And then just as the kids go to bed, guess who calls the family home? It's Mark! And he's calling for rice.
Rice. He's calling for rice. He might accidentally be trying to order a Chinese takeaway.
George just misunderstood entirely.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this kid, he wants to talk to you. He's like, yeah, and number 52.
Oh, but no, it was the right number, and he asks Rice out for Friday night. Okay,
bring the dog.
Yeah, exactly. All I care about is the dog. Then we cut to George and Alice's room, and they proceed to say goodnight to Beethoven and Sparky. And then we pan down. It looks like they've taken all the dogs in from the pound, and then we get credits to roll over Beethoven. Yeah. So that was Beethoven.
Why did they feel the need to pay off the Mark thing? Like, we haven't seen him for an hour. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, she's got over that distress from earlier of him not loving her, but then had to pay off.
It's that and the bully storyline. They're there for a scene. They're there just so Beethoven can do something, and then they're completely forgotten about. Like, the kid almost drowns. It's fine. Kid would not have drowned if she wasn't so shit at bouncing a ball. It's not hard.
Or she's just done as she was told and stayed in the room with that awful woman.
She's like 6 or 7, right? Stay away from the fucking water.
Yeah, exactly.
You're better than that. Like, you're not 2. You know to stay away from that water.
She wasn't 2. She was like 6. Anyway.
No, I said that's what I meant. She's not 2.
Oh, I see.
2-year-olds, fucking idiots, right? If they fall in the pool, right? Yeah, you should have been keeping a close eye on them. A 6-year-old, you should be able to trust a 6-year-old.
Yeah, they should know better. But yeah. Anyway, right. So let's rewind back. When we were 7 or 8 years old, where it was that we watched it, what did we love about it then? Or hate about it back then?
Had a dog in it.
Yeah.
Had a big old dog in it and some silly henchmen, and it was a load of fun.
Yeah, it ticked all the boxes of a family movie, didn't it? It was just like there's a dog, there's funny scenes, it's nice, it's warm, it's lovely, it's whatever.
The plot is easy to follow and simple. It's very, I mean, it's got a business plot like all films from the 90s do. There's always a business subplot because everybody thinks that for some reason kids want to know about business. Business.
Yeah. Okay.
So what about you?
Yeah, I mean, about the same.
Yeah, I didn't hate anything about it. I think I grew out of it fairly quickly. As I said earlier, like I think I probably recorded it off Sky when it first came on, probably rewatched it weekly for about a year, and then recorded over it with something else because I was bored of it and slightly too old in my own head for that film at that point.
It's always something that's had warm, fuzzy memories for me. If someone said, "Oh, like name some of your childhood movies," like, oh yeah, Beethoven, yeah, definitely. Because it's even when I mentioned to my mum, like I was recording Beethoven this podcast, she goes, "Oh, I like that film." So there's something about the nostalgia of that movie. Oh, it's a nice family-friendly movie type thing, you know.
Well, so I'd sort of as time has passed with it, and again, I think when I was slightly older and I got a dog, the charm of like, oh, it's a big dog is like not as charming when you've got a big dog. Although that's to be fair, I did love my dog very much. So, but as I got away from it more and more, it sort of suffered in my memory as being a cheesy 90s film that hasn't got any value to it whatsoever. It's the kind of thing where you just think it's one of those shit paint by numbers, like, Blank Check or something like that. Which is this kind of shit paint by numbers film, which is just designed to appeal to kids, has nothing for adults, is really annoying, and it's just there. That kind of family film from the 90s, which has nothing beyond just there for the kids, and it would drive you insane to watch it as an adult.
Now, that's interesting because it didn't drive me insane watching it. So obviously I didn't love it as much as a kid when I watched it, but I wasn't watching it going, I'm having a terrible time with this. I hate this. I can't wait for it to finish. It was nothing like that. Like for me, it was an easy watch. Got through it quite far. There was a couple of jokes I laughed at. I did cringe with the house was getting destroyed, though, I must say.
So what I would say there is that what I meant there was that as I've got away from it.
Now,
now back and watching it again now.
Yeah.
I had a perfectly good time with it. It's aged well. There's nothing in there that's beyond that lingering shot of a boy in a mirror. There's nothing, and even that's just accidental, right? I don't think there's anything sinister in that.
No,
but it's aged remarkably well. Age difference between male and female lead aside, it's perfectly watchable. It ticks all the boxes. It's very by the numbers, but it's charming. Charles Grodin's good value. There's no bad acting in it. Like everybody's fight. The kids aren't annoying.
No, true.
You don't. The kids aren't that kind of like, God, I could give you a slap. Like, they're on the right side of it, and you get the interesting Stanley Tucci and Oliver Platt dicking around early in their career. So you got that. You've got a villain that's so cartoonishly evil as to be a never-ending sense of entertainment, source of entertainment.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, it's fine. It's
fine.
Pause
it before you make your final verdict. So let's go on to some Smith trivia.
Yeah, right. Smith trivia. So this is the second film from director Brian Levant that we've watched. Do you remember what the first one was?
No, that was driving me mad because when his name popped, I went, "What film have we covered that he's done?" So what was it?
He did The Flintstones.
Of course he did.
Oh, and also Problem Child 2 and Jingle All the Way. Now, I couldn't find the budget for this film.
No, I couldn't. Only how much it made.
Yeah, I know it made 147 million. I can't imagine it cost that much.
No.
I would also say it was written by Edmond Dantes. Do you know the name Edmond Dantes?
It is a pseudonym, isn't it? It was really John Hughes who wrote it.
It was really John Hughes who wrote it and left the script for Universal when he left the studio. But do you know the name Edmond Dantes? You know what that refers to?
Isn't it from The Count of Monte Cristo or something?
It is indeed The Count of Monte Cristo, yes.
Yeah.
It was also co-written by someone called Amy Holden Jones. Now, Amy Holden Jones has a very interesting career, so I've looked into this. She's most famous as being the director of a slasher film called The Slumber Party Massacre.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen The Slumber Party Massacre?
No, but I've seen the kill count on it. But yeah.
Yeah, so I've seen it, and it's kind of this almost revisionist. It's meant to be tongue-in-cheek revisionist feminist slasher. It doesn't quite work on that level because it's still the 80s, but it's like the killer's walking around with a giant drill which he hangs down between his legs.
That's it.
It's very funny. She also wrote Mystic Pizza, Indecent Proposal, and The Relic.
Interesting.
Which I like The Relic, or at least I remember liking The Relic. I haven't seen it in a while. It's got Tom Sizemore, and it's a perfectly salvageable or serviceable slasher film from the mid-90s. So originally it was going to be directed by someone called Steve Rash, who left the film over creative differences. But seeing as his last two films have been Bring It On, All or Nothing, or Bring It On, In It to Win It, I would assume the creative differences was he had no creative skills whatsoever, and they made him leave.
Sure.
The dogs were trained and owned by Eleanor Keaton, the third wife of Buster Keaton, who was present on set for most of it. Joseph Gordon-Levitt was the actor in the small role of child getting on bus. Although, to be fair, when I first watched it, I knew I saw it in the credits. I was like, wait, where was he?
Yeah.
And I went back and kind of looked, and it doesn't look like him.
No, I thought it was the other kid, when Mark brings Beethoven over to Rice. I thought that other kid was Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And then when I rewatched, I was like, oh, no, it isn't. So, I was exactly who the hell was Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
When I went back to look, I was like, and I had to Google it and have a look at the screenshot. And I was like, oh, right, there he is. Apparently. The American Veterinary Medical Association sent letters of protest to Ivan Reitman due to the evil vet.
Not evil.
I'm not evil. I'm just a vet. It got 4 sequels. There are 4 sequels to this film.
Yeah.
Only the second one has any continuity with the first. The rest then are all sort of just films about giants, St. Bernards. And in 1994 to 1995, this is something that I did not know and has completely passed me by. There was an animated Beethoven series.
Well, I never saw that.
I had never seen it. I had never heard of it.
No.
Nicole Tom, who played Rice, reprises her role of Rice, and Dean Jones, Dr. Varnick himself. That's getting more and more Richard Nixon as I go on.
Yeah.
Voice George.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so there you go. Steve Martin apparently was the first choice to play George. A number of other people were considered, but it's always that thing where it's like they were considered. It's like, yes, but did they consider it?
Exactly, but they sent the script.
Whoever you fucking want.
Yeah.
But there's the who's who of people at the time: John Candy, Jeff Goldblum, Rick Moranis, people like that are all considered. I don't think anybody really would have worked as well as Charles Grodin in this role.
No, I think he was perfect for this. Even though he's 57 and Bonnie Hunt is like 29, but yeah.
I think that is all of the trivia that I've got. Anything,
cool.
All the interesting stuff. Anyway, a lot of it, I was looking up trivia stuff. A lot of it, when you look at these things, is not trivia. It's just coincidence.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Great. So now I've struggled with this. The final verdict. Does it hold up?
Yeah, it's fine. The way I judge things like this, right, is it successful in what it sets out to do?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's a perfectly serviceable family comedy. If I had kids that were the age that I were when I watched it, would I be happy letting them watch this? And more importantly, would I be able to sit and watch it with them without losing my mind? Yes. So, yeah. It's perfectly entertaining. Like, even we got to the end of it and I was like, that was fine. I laughed. I had a good time with it. It didn't feel long. It didn't outstay its welcome. Breezy, 87 minutes. So in my verdict, yes, it holds up.
It's a weird one. Yeah. Is it a good film? No. Does it do what it sets out to do? Yes. Like, is it charming in its own way? Has it got a nice nostalgia feel? And then it's funny you say that. Like, I said that to my wife earlier on. Would we show this to our son? Yeah, probably. So, and yeah, I would probably watch it again. I don't feel like I have to get rid of that DVD that I bought.
It's a different thing like this and something like the Flintstones, where the Flintstones, is too long, has a load of stuff it's trying to do that doesn't work. It's got the right ideas, but it doesn't know how to execute it properly. This was very simple. This is like Brian Levant's skill set. Point a camera at something and then cut at a certain point. Don't try anything fancy. It ain't going to work.
Okay. Well, you know what? I think you swayed my decision. I'm going to say, yes, it holds up as well. I was on the fence. I wasn't sure, but I said, yeah, it holds up. So there you go. Right then, it's my turn for next episode's nomination. So, Smith, with the exception of The Lawnmower Man, what is your favourite Stephen King adaptation? And I say that loosely because The Lawnmower Man clearly wasn't a Stephen King adaptation. What is your favourite Stephen King adaptation?
Well, there's been some really good ones. The original Pet Sematry's okay, I suppose. I'm quite fond of Salem's Lot. But I'd say the best one, remake aside, because it hasn't really held up that well, is the original It miniseries with Tim Curry.
Interesting. Well, that is on the list to cover, but we're not covering that next.
Oh, is it Cujo? Are we going into another dog
film? No dogs for a while. Let me rephrase this. What is your favourite Stephen King adaptation that stars Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Oh, you tricked me. You tricked me because he didn't write it under Stephen King, did he?
It's Richard
He
Bachman.
wrote it under Richard Bachman. That would be The Running Man.
The Running Man. Yeah, I've genuinely not watched that in years, and I remember loving that. So I'm like, yeah, we've not done any Arnie yet. Let's not do something like Predator or Terminator. Let's take another one and let's do some Arnie.
Sub-Zero, now Plane Zero. You're going to get a lot of that from me next time out.
Plenty.
You lucky people.
Plenty. Right then, just want to plug our socials before we get out of here. We are on email, it doesn't hold up podcast@gmail.com. We're on Instagram at It Doesn't Hold Up Podcast. We're on Twitter, or X as it's now known, at Doesn't Hold Up Pod. We're on YouTube at It Doesn't Hold Up Podcast. And we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all other good places you listen to podcasts. And remember, please give us a good review on all your podcast platforms. And remember, we do welcome all suggestions for things for us to cover. So yeah, Smith, is there anything further you would like to say on Beethoven before we get out of here?
Well, unfortunately, I've run out of dogs. However, I've got a turtle here. I guess you could use it as a football, or I could run it over with a tractor. I mean, how do you want to kill an animal? Come on, I'm not evil.
Not evil. Cool. And I just want to say, if you're thinking of getting a dog, just don't. Just enjoy your life.